This is one of those classic macro shots that I've always wanted to get with a real macro lens. I've taken a lot of pictures like this with my close-up filters, but never with a macro lens. And you might think, well, come on, what's the big deal? Like if you go back and look at some of the other pictures I've taken that are kind of like this, where it's a flower up close, you might think, well, yeah, what's the big deal? Like this looks kind of the same as other flower pictures that I have taken in previous years, except with my close-up filters on my 50mm lens and not an actual macro lens. And, you know, in some respects, like I get that. It's sometimes like the close-up filters do a really good job of approximating a macro lens, and they let you get close to your subject. But what makes it different in this case is that you have so much more flexibility in terms of focusing. With the close-up filters, you're really confined to a pretty narrow plane of focus, especially if you're using a wide aperture. Because when you put the filters on your lens, the way that they bend light, it's not like a normal lens. Like you're kind of limiting yourself to just a certain area in front of the camera that's going to be in focus. And that makes these types of pictures a lot trickier. For this one, this is actually a flower that's down the road from us. My wife came home one day and she said, the neighbors got these flowers out in front, like right next to the sidewalk. She said, we should go down and take a picture with your macro lens. So we did. We walked down and they were these beautiful blooming flowers, just like what you see here. And it was really cool to be able to have the gear not get in the way of what I wanted to do creatively. And that's kind of how it was with close-up filters. They let you get close, but you always kind of had to accommodate the limitations of the filters. With the macro lens, you can, I could get as close or as far as I wanted. I could use a variety of apertures. I could autofocus and it would lock on reliably. Like it was just a whole different experience. In fact, the key issue for this photo became how to compose the shot. Do I go head on, like straight on, sideways? Do I try and do silhouette? Do I have like backlighting, front lighting? And I ended up with this kind of 3/4 view that you see here. And I think it turned out really well. I'm really happy with the result of that photo. Clearly, it's a flower. It's up close. You got just that very front part in focus. And like almost the entire photo is out of focus. But that's by design. And I really like the way that the colors, like you have these deep reds on the side and then these yellows and then the browns in there, this sort of 3-color palette, I guess 4 if you count the purple in the center. It all comes together to form this cool photo that I'm really happy I was able to take.